Hey y'all, it's Zyder, once again back with another video. So, I thought for today's video, it's been on my mind for a while. I thought I would take you all back down memory lane to, as you could tell by the title, the old days of VRC, like the simpler times. And also my experience as to how I got in VR and how I became an absolute VR addict within 4 or 5 years. So, but to start off, VRChat is more than just a game. It is a place, it's a social game where you could meet tons and tons of people, form a lot of relationships. Trust me, I've been in a ton. And basically build communities from the ground up. And do something with that in your own way, usually. Something that everyone could actually like and love. For me, VRChat, I remember back towards the beginning, I knew a little bit about VRC. And to say this, the only way I got into VRC, or when I heard of it, was when there was very, very popular memes going around back in 2018 of the Ugandan Knuckles meme. People changing in the Ugandan Knuckles and saying, "Do you know the way? Do you know the way?" And then there's also the Kermit jumping off of the building, going to Kermit you know what. I'm not going to say it on YouTube because community guidelines, but it's really something I saw and I'm like, it's funny. I saw some other VRChat clips and I'm like, it was cringe. At a young, late teenage age, I thought this game was absolute horrendous cringe. I did not like it. I absolutely hated it. But as time progressed, 2020 would hit. And that's when my whole entire... I'm pretty sure everyone's life changed. 2020, towards March, everything got shut down. Work got shut down. Basically, everything. Work, school. I was still a senior in high school, and I was about to graduate. I had one of the worst graduations ever, but it basically really did affect me. It might have not seemed like it, but it really did. And to think that you would be isolated from everything else in the outside world, where else could you possibly go to escape what's going on in this world? Because we didn't know what was going on at the time. The virus was running absolutely crazy. But in 2020, somewhere around March and June, I noticed some of my friends got me in to VR. There was a thing called VRChat, which is this game. And I realized I was a desktop user at the time. So I played for the very first time, and what I could obviously imagine was a really different experience, meeting all sorts of people. I played games where I would meet people like either on TF2 or Gmod, but this one was completely different. This one was really, really something I actually enjoyed. So as time progressed, it grew on me more and more and more And I started investing more time into VRC. And towards the beginning of the fall, when the Quest 2 was about to release and the Rift S was about to be discontinued, I got the Rift S as my first headset. Now, VRChat back at that time was absolutely amazing, brilliant. All of the old name tags, all like the old menu where it still had early access on the side, the dynamic bones before Fizzbones was ever invented. There were a lot of things in VRC that you could do. Even before EAC was a thing, people would use mods to improve their experience, which, don't get me wrong, I did that too. I used mods to help improve the Rift S and the PC to the best of my ability, because the VRChat, as we all know, is not that optimized. It's, with every single update, they basically somehow fix things, and they don't really fix them. They're not totally fixed, but yet it says it improves load times and better performance. But this is way before that even happened. EAC was implemented. I met a lot of people. A lot of different clubs started popping off. Many of them have been around since 2020, at the very beginning of the pandemic. And I had my own community. Don't be surprised. I had my own YouTube channel. I ran it. I streamed all the fucking time on YouTube. And I just would chill with friends 24/7, exploring worlds, sleep streaming, probably putting in like 100 hours a day with this fucking game, and wasting my life, with VR. At that time, I got several more games besides VRChat. I got Beat Saber, where I played that a little bit. It was challenging, but it was something. And I also got Half-Life Alyx at the time. That game was a brilliant experience, I will say the least. Really great single-player game. If you have not played or you don't have it in your Steam library, it's like, man, I could go on a whole review about that. A whole entire rant about that, but that'll be for a different video. So, the world I'm standing in right now. Whenever I got started, this was one of the very first worlds that I discovered, called Virtual Furrence. And back in that time, many cons were going virtual. They were doing virtual things in VRChat. Trust me, I hated it. Everyone else hated it. It was like a homesick thing. No one could see each other, except that they were in VR. The time for when everything was arranged, this world starting off was not like this. Trust me, it was not like this. There was a whole section when you enter the lobby area. There was a white bar towards the very end of the two doors, the spinning doors, where you would come in and you would see nothing but white. The sliding door was not there. The entrance was cut off with boards, like just boarded all up on the side saying caution, under construction, and over on the side there was basically an archived update sheet to where people would actually see the progress that was being made on the world every time it got updated. Because this world was basically 3D photo scanned, which doesn't look like it. To me, at least. I have not believed that for 6 years, but I mean, I guess they somehow really did actually do it. Some people actually told me that's like the whole fucking lobby and stage area were like 3D photo scanned. But yeah, those were the times where that was Eurofluence's place. And then there was a place where Anthrocon took place. A large stage area where they had a large stage. They had the walk down path where you could basically be down there and have like the background of the background of Pittsburgh and all its finesse. Sadly, that world got deleted, and it pains me to say it. Like, the world, I really want the world to come back, but now that the creator, who's not on VRChat anymore, doesn't do that sort of stuff, it would be honestly a great recreation with everything that's updated to now, to today's standards. It's really something back then about VRC to now that a whole lot has changed. I streamed a lot. I will say that. I had a YouTube channel. Many people remember that. On that YouTube channel, I did a crap ton of compilations. Tons. And that was when I was just a mischief little person exploring VR, doing certain VR things, and it was cutting into that. After the pandemic hit, it was like, oh, now what am I going to do? So, hence, made VR content, all sorts of VR content that people love, that people enjoyed. It really did hit me, though, that I look back on it, and it was so much more simpler. It was so much more easy. Things were way more awesomer. Then there was the introduction to virality. Luma. I honestly, I don't remember this. I remember it, but it's insane how much things can really have a fast effect on you. So Luma was my very first con virtually I experienced. I've seen 2000, I've seen 2020. I didn't have the money. I had money, but parents were like very irresponsible. They weren't irresponsible, but they were basically very, very protective of me, and they're like, I don't know. We're keeping this stuff away from you. It's better now. It's better now. I got that stuff in my possession and my control. But Luma was my very first one. Then, as that went on, there was Legends. Legends, it was a... I really wanted to say superhero. It's basically just superhero-esque. I mean, I'm like, look, you have all the Marvel films and all that came out. I'm like, you could have picked a better... it was amazing. The worlds were amazing, don't get me wrong. The team did a fantastic job. But the theming could have been better. The theming could have been chosen a little bit more differently. Could have picked something more unique. But along the lines, it could have been something way more better. So, there was Aqua, which, in my opinion, was a very, very great, a very great con. I absolutely loved it. Virality was on fire. The sets were amazing. The world was amazing. The stage was amazing. I could go on and on and on. I made tons of memories there. I made a lot of friends. But whenever I was in VR, I discovered my social anxiety, wanting to stay by myself and just not do anything and be involved. Over time this year, that also to today, Silva, I went to Silva as well. That was also a brilliant con. My fourth virality experience. Online experience. So, 2024 rolls around the corner. And here we are today, standing in the same game with a lot of people, a lot of experiences, still memories made in the past and a lot more to experience. This is basically how it changed my life and how much of an impact it made on me. And I'm pretty sure it's made an impact on all of you somehow as well. So, but anyways, I love you all. You all have a fantastic day and evening. And I will catch you all in the next video. This is Zyder signing out. You have a good one.